Hi everyone. In today's video we're going to talk about one of the rarest games for the Sega Saturn and considered by many one of the best RPGs of all time. But before I do so, don't forget to subscribe down below and also to join our Facebook group linked down below, Video Game Fans, to hear more about this game and share some of your thoughts and comments about video games and this specific game. Now, what game am I talking about? I'm talking about Panzer Dragoon Saga. And this game was released in 1998, and it was Sega's response, in essence, to try to counter other RPGs that were very popular and doing very well at the time, such as Final Fantasy on the PlayStation. This game was very innovative for the time because it incorporated never before done things such as computer graphics and 3D computer graphics animations, plus voice acting, all embedded into this game, incorporating some of its shooter type action from the previous game with free roaming around the world. It was pretty expansive compared to some of the previous games. Now, what better way to showcase this than watching some gameplay? And here we go. Panzer Dragoon Saga. So here we start out with some of the cutscenes intro, and I'm playing this at 10x speed because this game has so many animations and cutscenes. It's amazing. Right from the beginning of the game until you can finally start moving your character, there's over 13 minutes of storytelling and animation in this game. And again, you always have to take and put this into context of the time frame. But that's a lot of computer graphics, 3D animation, and a lot of production work. So it's a lot of interesting efforts that were put and significant efforts that you can tell into this game. Now, the story itself is pretty cool. You're in this world where some of the technologies of the past have been lost, where some of these really advanced civilizations were into war, and there's some relics of that civilization as monsters that are constantly attacking the current civilization, and this empire forms to extract some of the hidden artifacts that provide some of these technologies, and they are able to use it to defend themselves from some of these enemies. So there's an excavation site that you're guarding, and it's attacked by this rogue bandit group that's trying to take over the empire or combating the empire, and you fall down this huge pit. Somehow, after being shot and falling down this huge pit, you still survive. And here you go, you acquire your dragon, your Panzer Dragoon, which is chosen you to go on this epic quest. In all this, there's also this mysterious lady that's embedded in the rock, part of the ancient civilization. So a lot of the game is going through and unraveling the mystery behind the technologies, this mysterious lady, but also trying to subvert some of the political war tensions caused by these rebel parties or factions that are combating the empire, and some of the empire's own ambitions. And there's some sort of innuendo that the empire's not that good either. So quite a bit of an interesting landscape. Now, the game, once you acquire your dragon, you'll go through some of the original basic orientation on how to fly and shoot and use your dragon, some target practicing, etc., and that's what I'm showcasing here. And later on, it progresses a little bit into the story. It's pretty fun game as it mixes and tries to mesh quite a bit of different elements into one, and I give a lot of credit to Sega for taking this innovation, not only with the technology aspects that we already described, but as far as the blending of the gaming elements between flying a dragon on a type of ship shooter type game, but also then these scenes like this that we're about to start, and appreciate the loading times, but that you're also exploring the areas and walking around, interacting. And again, I'm playing this on a fast speed just to try to cover more media or more footage as part of this. Now, one of the weird mechanics that I'll admit is you have to kind of touch and explore things that you're seeing for the story to be able to develop and for you to find items. So here you go. As soon as you touch this box, you find items. And then when you touch the person, it kicks off the cutscene that elaborates a little bit more on the storyline. The game is quite a bit of a mesh, and it's an alternating pattern that you're going to find between flying your dragon and then touching ground, exploring an area, shops, people, etc., and then going back on your dragon. The majority of the action itself is on your dragon. And here in this scene, I'm showing kind of this little boss that you're fighting. And again, this is an accelerator 1.5 speed for playback. But you're fighting this big spider-type monster, which are these ancient monsters. There's quite a bit of variety in the backgrounds and the sceneries. And there's a bit of an open world, not fully open world, but bigger arenas compared to some of the previous Panzer Dragoon saga or Panzer Dragoon games, which was also quite a bit of a stretch and innovation compared to it. So here's another sample of some of the backgrounds and some of the landscape. This, back in its time, was really, again, cutting-edge stuff in the technology and the displays and what you could achieve with some of the video games of the time. So, hidden components, tunnels, navigating. It's a fun game. I really emphasize, give it a try if you can, if you're able to play this game. I think it's a fantastic game. Now, this game was a really feat of labor to develop. The game itself, and this copy that I have here, is in pretty good conditions, and it's really a complete version, but the game was 4 CDs long. That's a big game for a time, very big game. And the development was done in a very forward fashion, very stressful manner, to the point where, a little known fact, there are 2 fatalities inside the development team of this game. They're actually attributed to the stress level that they were undergoing during the development of this game, which is kind of sad to hear, especially because we still hear about some of that in the industries today, and some of the abuse and overtime hours that some of the people work to try to crunch and get these games out to us. And really, you know, as a big fan of video games, love the work and the arts, but you know, this should never come at the sacrifice of one's well-being or family. So I really hope that developers find a balance on these long work hours and families and personal lives to make sure that games are done in a really safe manner. But nonetheless, going back to this beauty, fantastic game, and pretty cool. I really enjoyed this one. It's one I haven't beat yet, but it's definitely on my list. Every time I try to go through it, I get sidetracked with something else, unfortunately. But if you've ever played this one, or have experience with the other Panzer Dragoon games, I would love to hear your thoughts and comments in the comments below, or in our video game fans group, again, linked down below. Fantastic game. Wish there were more in the Panzer Dragoon saga, or overall universe. We had an iteration in the Xbox One for Panzer Dragoon games, but again, I wish there were more of them. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.